Welcome back, print crew. On this channel, I've always encouraged those who wanted to get into 3D printing to make sure that the prints have meaning behind them. So when my wife came to me and asked me to print something for her classroom, I didn't hesitate. Today, we're gonna print objects for a sensory bin. I had the same question you may have. What is a sensory bin? Being that I'm not a school teacher and my wife does not want to appear on camera, a sensory bin is a container filled with materials like rice, sand, or water, plus themed toys, tools designed to stimulate a child's senses, touch, sight, and sound for open-ended play that develops fine motor skills, cognition, and creativity. So today, we're gonna print the toy-themed part of this sensory bin. Let's go over to the laptop, find our prints, and let's go print something. To start off the prints for my wife's class for their sensory bin, we're gonna start with the polar bear. So I downloaded the STL already, and then I brought it in here to our Elegoo slicer. And then I'll kind of go back over what I did. I scaled this up. So we went to scale and we scaled it to 125% because my wife she wanted them a little bigger than that when they came. Once I scaled them, I then came back in and I duplicated. So I cloned them. Right click, clone. And then I cloned them 7 times to give me 8 total. So there's our 8 polar bears right there. And what she's going to do, because they have black eyes and black noses, she's just going to color those with a paint marker, an acrylic marker. So she'll paint those in black with an acrylic marker. So the bears, we've got total filament being used, almost 100 grams of filament. And it'll be a little over 4 hours for print time. And supports on there. So there's our bears. Let's go ahead and send it to our Elegoo. We'll finish letting this get to the printer. Then we're going to go over to the printer. I'm going to load up the white filament. I'll show you which white filament I'm using. Load that up into the printer. And we'll start a print from over at the printer itself. Over at our Elegoo printer, here's the white we're using, of course, the Elegoo white PLA. That's what we're going to be using for our polar bears. It's actually what we're going to be using for the igloos, if I do igloos. We'll also be using it for part of the penguins, and I believe there's a snow owl that she's trying to find that we'll be printing that'll probably include this white. Let me get it loaded up into our filament dryer, and we'll start our print. I've shown this plenty of times, but why not show it again? We'll go ahead and open our dryer, put in our filament. Stick the filament through the hole here, and then up into our, there we go. Come over to our screen, settings, extruder, load filament. And we'll go ahead and run it up into the printer until it stops. Okay, it stopped. Now we just wait for it to get to 250 degrees, and then we'll make sure it grabs it, and we'll flush out the nozzle. Then we'll start our print. Our filament's getting loaded in now. Hit complete. I don't see the print on there, so let's go check the computer. We'll see why the print's not there yet. I'm just shooting the laptop screen from my camera right now, but it's here, so I didn't see it on the screen on the printer itself. We'll go ahead and start a print. We'll check back on it in 3 hours, see how it turned out. Here we go. 3 hours, 50 minutes, almost 4 hours, and our polar bears are done. Get them off the build plate, and then I'm going to take this white and move it over to our AMS, and then put some black in there also, and yellow, I think, and we're going to print out our penguins. It may be orange, actually. So let me get these off the build plate, and we'll get everything moved over. We got our Elegoo black, our Elegoo white, and this Elegoo orange color right here for our penguins. Go ahead and load this into the last slot. Okay, we've got our black, our white, and our orange. Just gotta undo the blue here because it's in the print head right now, and you can't run that side spool all the way like that with the AMS. You have to remove or pull the blue back out of the print head. So I'm gonna get that blue out, and then we'll go over to our laptop and we will get everything configured and start our print for our penguins. These are our penguins right here. What I did to the penguins, similar to what I did with polar bears, I first scaled them up. So coming over here, scaled. These were actually down to 70%, I think. I just brought them up to 100, and then I cloned them, and I did 7 clones of those. Preview the print. We'll take a look here because this is a multicolor print. 82 gram or 89 grams, almost 90 grams for the model. The supports are going to be 6 grams. Flushed is going to be 65 grams. Tower is going to be 26 grams for a total of 187 grams. We are looking at 16 hours, 12 minutes of print time, 297 filament changes. A lot of filament changes. So I want to make sure these are all going to print okay. Looks like there'll be enough space between them all. Right, let's go to our device, set up our colors here. We went black here, confirm. We went white in the middle, orange. Let's print the plate. We will make sure A2 is white, A3 is orange, and A1 is black. Okay, we got time lapse. We've got bed leveling. All right, let's send it on to the printer. 16 hours, so we will check back on it tomorrow. The other print we're doing is this igloo right here. Like the others, because I had to discuss this with my wife earlier. We've already run through it all. We've downloaded everything. So I came over here, downloaded the STL, just like you've seen me do so many different times before. So I came over here, downloaded the STL. Now, I loaded it up into our Elegoo slicer because it is going to be all one color. And I scaled this. I scaled it to 80%, both this top here and the igloo base here are both 80%. I can only print one at a time. If she needs 8, it is what it is. I really don't mind. It's only filament. We're looking at 112 grams of total filament and 3 hours, 3 minutes total print time. So let's go ahead. Let's send that over to our printer. While that's uploading, I'm going to go ahead and grab the white filament we're using. I'll show you what that is, and then we'll start our print from over there. Here's our white that we're going to be using for the igloos. This is a PLA plus. Come over here. There's our igloo. I'm just shooting the screen. We'll start our print and do a time lapse. Heated bed leveling, and we'll send it. We'll check back on this probably in the morning and see how it came out. It's 16 hours, 12 minutes. There's our little penguins. Let's take a look here. There's our purge block. Let's remove that first. Got a heft to it, that's for sure. It's not hollow inside, just up to that point though. Now let's take a look at our waste. Okay, that's how much waste we have. Let's get our penguins out. One little penguin. Oh, I thought I was breaking the penguin, but it's just the tree supports. I'll get the penguins all cleaned up, and then we'll go over and take a look at our igloo that we just printed up. I'll meet you over at the Elegoo to take a look at the igloo. Just a minute under 3 hours. Here's our igloo. Let's take a look at it. It's pretty big. I don't think my wife thought this igloo was going to be. We may be shrinking this down some. I know she needs 8. This is pretty big for a sensory bin. I think. But we'll ask the boss, see what she has to say about the igloo, and then we'll go from there. Our next item we're going to be printing is this snow owl. It says an articulated keychain figure. We're not actually going to do the keychain part. We're going to leave the keychain hole, this one off, and then we're going to use this 0.2 millimeter layer, 2 walls, 15 infill. I went ahead and downloaded it and opened it in the Bambu printer. Here's our print. We need to make this a little bit bigger. We're shooting for about 50 millimeters in height, so about the same size as the penguins. We'll scale this up. I'm going 155. Okay, we're just under, and I think that'll be okay. Now we need to duplicate it to 8 times because we need 8 of them. So we'll clone 7 more. Perfect. There they are, all in a row. Now let's go ahead and preview the print. When you're doing multicolor prints like this, if you're going to be flushing and purging this much, you might as well make more if you have a use for that. And in this case, we do. It's going to be 133 grams for the model, 76 grams flushed, 13 grams for the tower, for a total of 223.68 grams of filament being used, 219 filament changes, and 11 hours, 19 minutes to print. So let's go over to the printer. Let's change our colors because we need to add gray to the mixture now, because we already have white, we have black, we have the orange. Now we need to add gray to it. So let's go over to the printer. I'll show you which gray I'm using. Get that loaded in, then we'll start this print. And here's the gray we're going to be using, this Elegoo PLA gray. I got it loaded into our AMS. We'll go ahead and we'll go back over to our Elegoo now because I want to discuss about the igloos that we've been printing for these. So I'll head over to the Elegoo. Back at the Elegoo now. My wife's decided that she does like the size of the igloos. She only needs 3 of them, however. So we only need to print out 2 more. I'm actually going to hit a button I don't think I've ever hit it before, and that's print again. And we'll print out 2 more of those igloos. Get 2 more of those printed, and then while that's starting, we'll go ahead and go to the laptop and get our snow owls going. Let's go ahead and print this plate. We have white in A2, black in A1, gray in A4, orange in A3. So we look good. We're going to do a time lapse. About 11.5 hours, we should have 8 snow owls. All right, print crew. If you can see the one right in the middle, right back there, looks like the part of it came off. Also had an issue right here. I don't know what's going on. This is the second time. I'm going to go ahead and stop this print. This is the second time this has happened where we had an issue here and we had an issue back here. I don't know why we're having so many problems with these. It's almost like it's not sticking to the plate. I don't know. So I'm going to take these off. I'm going to clean the plate. I'm also going to maybe spread these out a little more. I don't know if that'll help anything, but I'm going to try that. I want to try everything. And then we'll start a print again and see if that fixed the issue. First part of the task, clean plate, all done. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start this from right here. "11 hours, 22 minutes, and we have some snow owls. Only issue is this took like 3 or 4 different starts. I finally ended up gluing the build plate, putting some glue on there, this glue in particular. And if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me add this on there. But I've never had to add it to the Bambu, but for some reason this print did not want to stick. And if you look back here at this little guy, this wing didn't print, but all the other 7 of them did print. My wife said we're good though. She only needs 7, even though we've been printing 8 of everything. Maybe 8, the 8th one is an extra, but she really needs 7. I'm going to take all these little guys off. We'll get them cleaned up as well, and then we'll take a look at everything and see how everything turned out, and I'll explain to you what they're going to be used for. Here's our sensory bin, and here, I'm not going to dump them all out because they'll go everywhere, are all our sensory toys. We printed 8 of each item, 8 penguins and 8 polar bears. Unfortunately, we were only able to print 7 owls because, as you saw, one messed up. My wife painted the eyes and the nose on the polar bear. The reason why we printed 8 of each item is because there's 8 separate sensory bins. One of them is backup, and that's why we could get away with only printing 7 of the snow owls, because one messed up, as you guys saw. And the 3 igloos aren't necessarily a necessity for the sensory bin, just something cool for the kids to put into the igloo. So she said 3 igloos is plenty. They can share these. I really like the owls and how the wings move and the head kind of pops up when you push down at the bottom and rotates. I think the kids are gonna love these. What I like about this print is it gives my wife class an opportunity to explore new things. Without my 3D printer, they wouldn't have been able to have cool little polar toys like this because it's just not in the budget for the schools. So we have to take it upon ourselves from time to time and print what we need for her classroom. I think the most rewarding prints are those that have meaning and have a purpose behind them. Much like the Triceratops that I printed for the boy on Christmas, or the many objects that I've printed for my kids. When I print something for someone else, it just feels a little different. I challenge you guys to put your printers to work. Go find a teacher, maybe your kids' teacher, or a teacher that you might know, and ask if there's something you can 3D print for their classroom. So, ABP, always be printing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.